It's 5:30 and I've been up for a couple of hours already because today is the day. Today, everything changes. This is not a drill. This is not a clickbaity, hey, goodbye, and then we're gonna post another video something next week. This is, we've gotta go. We've gotta focus on some things. We've gotta do some things, and it needs our team's full attention. So will it be 2 or 3 months like we hope, or more? We have no idea. We're not sure, but for the time being, we are going dark. All right, so I just got here. It's 7 o'clock, just got to the warehouse, and it's here. It's literally here, which is such a relief because who knows what could happen on the road, but our appointment's at 10 a.m. So we've got 3 hours and then it's time. We are on a mission to do something that's never been done before. And since before Trash Panda even started, the same message has been spoken to me, now to our team, through individuals, conversations, and comments. And I can't even tell you the amount of times we've heard this, but basically the gist of what's been said is it's not possible. What you're trying to do, it will never work. And no, I absolutely refuse to believe that. I mean, partially because now we have something we didn't have a little over a year ago, which is we've proven that it can be done. Basically, when it comes to making discs and injection molding, everything is designed and like focused on automation, consistency. The world is converting in injection molding to robots. And what we're trying to do is use a feedstock, 100% recycled plastic, and taking all of that consistency and throwing it completely out of the water. I guess, yes, it shouldn't work, but it has, and it will.
So it's got to come through here, turn this little corner here, and then our space is back here. We've got it all cleared out. It's been a lot of work getting it cleared out. Thank you. And this is the spot. I can imagine there will be days of like pure ecstatic, like stoke, something's happening and we're just like, this is amazing. And there will be days that are like absolute trash and nothing's working. It's just gonna be a season of high highs and low lows, I think. Probably one of the things I'm most excited for is just because we're going dark and we're gonna spend so much time here, we had talked about it as a team and we don't wanna do it alone. We don't wanna do it just as a team. So I think one of the things that I'm literally most excited about is that we're going dark to the world except for Patreon. And patrons will be able to be a part of every single week. Weekly videos, updates, stories behind what's happening, what we're learning, bringing you through the whole process. And I think that, like, when I think about that and the things we'll do there, that's what's getting me really excited.
Trash Panda started as me in my garage thinking, I'll make a disc out of recycled plastic in my garage. How hard could it be? And if I knew what I knew now, I cannot believe that I was so naive. Yet at the same time, nothing was gonna stop me. And so I built an injection machine in my garage that operated on my body weight. I told the story on YouTube. I started to rally people around this mission and this idea of discs made from 100% recycled plastic. And I got a comment one day that I'll never forget. It was on a video where I was making a disc, and people had suggested for a long time that I just extend the arm that I like hung on to inject plastic because that would increase torque. Little did they know, I was over here Googling what is torque. In the most simple fashion, the longer the lever arm, the more torque. the easier it is to inject the plastic or move whatever I'm trying to move. And one day I got a comment that I will never forget this. Someone said, with a lever arm long enough, you can change the world. Whoa. I don't cry. Very often, at least. But something else was happening in that moment that people didn't realize. The thing that was happening was not only was it a lever arm long enough, but more people were getting on that lever with me. It still blows my mind that there are people who are as stoked on this mission as I am. And sure, on camera, you might see this one dude on a bar in his garage, but the reality is, over time, that bar just continued to get longer, and the amount of people who were pulling it down continued to add up.
It's exciting. It's just, exciting is the number one word that comes to mind, but there's a lot of nerves behind all of it too. Like, it goes from like everything we knew, and everything was running really nice, everything was great to an extent, and then all of a sudden we're just like, whole new journey, let's go after it. And it's an entirely new step that we're taking.
On a scale from 0 to Empire State Building, how high is the learning curve?
The peak of the Empire State Building.
A decision this big requires so much time to just simply think about if this is the right step. And then, you had so many checklists of things to do that took forever. And we're executing it. We're not just like ideating on what we want to do, or it's actually happening.
What singular word would you use to describe your emotional state about everything that's happening today?
Extremely stoked. It's 2 words, but that's how I feel.
Yo, how's it going?
Good, dude. Walking into a coffee shop.
Heck yeah. You are on camera, on audio, because we have something very big happening today. And I just want to ask you, how does it feel? How does today feel for you?
I can't even, it's hard to like put into words just because of how much time has gone into getting here in the first place. Like, the first word that comes to mind is just the inflection point. Yesterday's Trash Panda is not today's Trash Panda.
61765.
Fired. Straight to jail. All right, he's calling me back. You're on the other side of the country, but today is a pretty massive day for us, and I just want to ask how you feel about it.
Fairly excited.
Fairly excited?
Very, very excited.
That's better. Tell me a little more, like, what do you mean by that?
I think it's going to be quite an adventure learning how to use that piece of equipment.
Yes.
Basically, by the time we were going to release our first disc, by the time we were releasing the inner core, we knew, once we had that final prototype, I knew there was no chance we could keep up with the demand by making them in the garage. I mean, it took 20 to 30 minutes to make one disc. And if it came out as a first, that's great, but likely it would be a second or a third. Early in 2022, I projected that we would sell 10,000 discs on the release of the inner core. I just had this feeling, that number made sense to me, so we had to scale. Because if I was right, then making 10,000 discs in my garage would take multiple lifetimes. So we found a local manufacturer who was willing to take on this project. We ran into 100 more problems than we expected, at least, but by November of 2022, we released the inner core to the world. And you guessed it, we sold and delivered 10,000 discs made from 100% recycled plastic.
It's like right there. I could touch it, but we have to wait for another company to unload it because it's too big for us to unload. So we had to hire another company to unload it. but it's right there. So close. So close.
You feel like a little kid on Christmas Day right now before presents are opened?
I feel like comparing Christmas and this are like not even like different planets. This like it literally just was Christmas, and yeah, this feels more like Santa's here than Christmas ever has. This is crazy.
Do you feel like it was kind of hard to enjoy the holidays with this ahead?
No. I felt like it was so easy to enjoy the holidays because I know how hard this is going to be. So it was like the last rest for a while. So we had prototyping in the garage and we had this scaled production level manufacturing. But over the next year, we started to see the gap. And it really presented itself to me 6 months ago. We could get a batch of regrind anywhere from 40 pounds to 40,000 pounds. And we started this disc recycling program, so now our incoming feedstock is just hundreds of small variations of different types of plastic. Let alone, we're trying to make something at scale that flies consistently, that's a performance-based product, so it can't crack when it hits a tree, and the quality standards for discs are extremely high. Yet discs, in and of themselves, virgin plastic or not, are an extremely complex part to mold, and we're trying to do it out of 100% recycled plastic. Let alone that plastic is TPU, which is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture from the air, and basically all I'm trying to say is the complexities continue to show up. And when there are so many voices telling you that it's not possible, and you run into problem after problem after problem making discs, it can feel a little heavy. But I'm not ready to give up. How's it going? Doing well. You guys here? Cool, I'll come right out front. Santa's here. Let me chat with him first without the camera. Jesse, nice to meet you, man. So we're gonna get a first look at it right now, and they're gonna decide whether they're gonna put it on their trailer and just back their trailer up, or back this guy up directly. This is all new for me. So you might be thinking, Jesse, what are you doing? I'm glad you asked. To fill that gap, we need to put our focus and attention. Our whole team is going to put everything we have into this thing. And that means we just need a minute to focus. But just because we're going dark doesn't mean we're not working in the dark. Rest assured, we will still be working harder than ever. And with that idea of working in the dark, we started thinking about it in this way to fully embrace our namesake. We're working in the dark, which means we're going nocturnal. Very, very specifically, going nocturnal means that today we are getting an injection machine. So, over the next foreseeable future, we're going to cram all of the education we can and learn everything we can about making discs ourselves. And if you want to join us,
if you want to go nocturnal with us, work in the dark, learn with us. There is one caveat. We won't be posting publicly to the world, but we will be posting more than ever before on Patreon. So you can get weekly updates, we'll share videos behind the scenes of the process, and specifically Tier 3 gets the benefit of being a prototype tester, and we will at least be sending 1 disc per month to that tier. So if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. You definitely don't have to, but it would be great to hang on that lever arm with you. And if not, it's goodbye for now. We'll see you when we see you. We have no idea when that will be, but we're gonna get to work. Just because you don't hear from us, don't think we're not working harder than ever before. And seriously, thank you. Doing all of this is such a pleasure. The excitement, the fear, the nerves, the unknowns, the problems we might run into, the problems we will run into. All of this is a privilege. All right. Let's go nocturnal.